Let's now take you back to Durban, where the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is holding a memorial service for former Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan ahead of his official funeral tomorrow. Newzroom Afrika's Vuyo Mvoko is there and joins us now. Vuyo, good afternoon once again. We know that the family are on their way, and it seemingly seems as though the hall is slowly filling up.
It is indeed slowly filling up. One side of the hall is almost full, and the other one, of course, is half full. The family is yet to arrive or walk into this hall, at least. Quite a number of people I've seen who know Pravin Gordhan in various capacities, but with me now is retired Justice Yacoob. Judge, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much
good afternoon to you
for your time. You have known this man for a very long time.
Oh, I've known him since 1968, when he was 19 years old and I was 20. And we were at the University College Durban on Salisbury Island together. So we were still children then, we may say. And we organized the first boycott at the university together of lectures. And he was very good after that in the underground of the African National Congress. We worked together, and his particular skills and belief lay in organizing and mobilizing the masses of the people, as we used to say in those days, to involve and to develop a mass democratic struggle. And that was his claim to fame. His claim as an activist was to ensure that our people were mobilized, and we believe that it's our people who participated in the struggle. We simply facilitated it. And the struggle was supposed to be led by the people. And we carried on for a long time until 1998, when I became a judge. And then, of course, I had to distance myself from everything. But really, he developed the relationship between the African National Congress underground, the African National Congress outside, and the UDF inside the country. We worked together in the formation of the UDF and a whole range of other things.
I was listening to Mcebisi join us the other day, talking about how he mobilized against state capture, but he was talking specifically about the early days where none of us, or many of us, knew nothing about what was happening, on the ground. But what was it about his organizing skills, underground organizing skills, perhaps I should say, that really
he was a very good underground activist. He knew about how to hide things. He knew how to develop stories. He knew about safe venues and safe houses and so on. And we learned all those things together. So we had to organize it. We had to make sure that the ANC could not be forgotten. You can't have two different struggles. And the UDF, although we denied it to the police, was actually a structure which represented the ANC inside the country.
Talk to us about how close were you with him, to him during those Vuyo years, which was, of course, one of the most important episodes of his life.
We were very close together, and I used to meet him from time to time, and Vuyo was a very, very difficult time. And remember that as a result of Vuyo, he went into detention for a long time. And that was a very difficult thing. But yes, his work in Vuyo was really good. And he was what I call a very disciplined activist and comrade.
Post-apartheid, of course, he was at SARS for many years, and later on became a finance minister. But of course, the episode that most people talk about is the state capture years.
Yes, now I don't know much about I didn't know him intimately at that time. I know as much as I heard in the news. Because remember that by then, I had been a judge, I was already a retired judge, and therefore I had to distance myself from politics and political leanings and political things, which I did.
What would you say was his single biggest contribution to our struggle?
Single contribution
pre- and post-apartheid
was to recognize the importance of the majority of people in the country as participants in the struggle for democracy. His biggest contribution was that it is not leadership who develops the struggle. The struggle is led by the people, and it's our job to ensure that the people are empowered to lead the struggle.
Judge, let me thank you very much
Thank you very
for
much.
your time. Really appreciate it. Judge Zach Yacoob, retired judge, among the hundreds who have now gathered here to really pay tribute to Pravin Gordhan. We will, of course, be speaking to more and more people who would have known him in various capacities. Some of them served with him in other structures, including those outside of the Natal Indian Congress, the African National Congress, and of course other structures. We will be bringing you more of those people as, of course, the momentum builds towards the memorial service itself, which is scheduled to start anytime soon. If I'm not mistaken, I see members of the family, or some members of the family, walking in, which will then signal that the proceedings here are about to get underway. But let's take a listen for a second or two to what Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, or former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, had to say earlier on today.
You would know that he played a particularly important role in relation to fighting state capture, and he was very supportive of the commission that I chaired. He was a very brave man. He was very humble. He always knew the right thing to do and did it. And he put up a big fight to prevent the capture of the National Treasury. And of course, many of you will remember his evidence in the commission, which was very extensive, which helped us understand what really happened with regard to state capture. So he has made a very important contribution to the liberation of South Africa. I think that the best way to honor his legacy would be, one, for us to rededicate ourselves to doubling our efforts in fighting corruption and state capture, but two, that we all remember to put the people first in whatever we do, because throughout his life, he put the people of South Africa first, and that's what we should all do.
Well, it does look like proceedings will kick off any time from now. I see on the stage the chairperson of the ANC, as well as the man who is going to give a keynote address on behalf of the ANC. The family is being seated. People are singing right behind me. It does look like proceedings will indeed begin soon, very soon actually. The hall is filling up. I see on the other side of the room the SARS Commissioner, Kisweta. He is there. I see Mike Sutcliffe, who's scheduled to speak here. All of them have taken their seats, which then suggests that proceedings will indeed kick off very, very soon.
All right, Vuyo, so as you say, we are seeing there some of the PEC members in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Any other key members, perhaps from the NEC, that are in attendance today, like we saw yesterday in Johannesburg?
There are quite a number of people, current and former members of the National Executive. I see the former Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, seated on the one side of the hall. I can also see members, oh no, she's a member of the Gordhan family. We are trying to get the former Minister of Police to quickly chat to us in a second. I hope we'll still be able, I'm trying to reach out to him, to speak to him in a minute, Katleho, if you give me